Hi there, thanks for joining me today. This is Jayma Malmi, and today I'm sharing a 2-page layout that I made using the Memories in the Making kit. This kit is now sold out, but for those of you who may have already purchased it or just want to watch this for inspiration, there's some tips and techniques along the way, and it's always just fun to watch a process video. So the kit has pages to make a calendar, and each page is pre-cut, and then they give you a guide to make that calendar page. So what I did was I converted the contents from one page to work for my 2-page layout. And I like having matching 2 pages in my scrapbook, so that's what I decided to do. And I had these pictures from the 4th of July that I wanted to use this paper with. And this is not your typical 4th of July colors, but because of the photos that I had, and it wasn't really like a 4th of July celebration type photos, I really liked this paper with it. So this is the layout 12 from the kit, if you're wondering. And so you saw me cut the colorful paper in half to span across both pages. Now what I did for some inspiration before I started was I looked through my Make It From Your Heart book, From Close to My Heart, which has tons of scrapbook, I think it was volume 3, has tons of scrapbook blueprint sketches with the cutting dimensions and everything, and beautiful photos of ideas in it. And so I looked through that book first to see if there was a layout in there to inspire me that would work with the paper that I had to work with, since I only had certain size pieces to work with. So I found inspiration in that book to create this layout. And you see that I cut the one base page to actually just be an accent. That bluish, dark blue color was the base page for the original layout. And then all of the other pages were kind of supporting papers on the layout. And to make this gray piece stretch further, I cut it so it looks like it's going across the whole page, but you're not seeing that there's that gap behind the photos. So that's a great way to make your paper stretch further, whether you're using it from a kit and you have a limited amount, or if you just want to make your paper stretch further and not use as much. So I'm using the stickers here that came with that layout. And again, I followed that guide from the book on where to place the title. And then I'm placing my photos on there. Now this layout, even though it is about 4th of July sort of, it is the day that we got our dog. And so all of these photos on the main page are about the dog. This is Zeta. And then you'll see towards the end, I'm going to add some Pocket Plus pages to add more 4th of July-ish photos. And then I forgot to add this little piece underneath the photo, so you saw me just kind of cut that down, and I wanted it behind these photos too to look like it's behind everything. And so I'm carefully placing that in there, and it'll look just like it's going across the whole page. Anyways, back to the actual 4th of July photos. I'm adding those in. You kind of see to the right of the screen right now, the Pocket Plus pages that will go in the center of my layout, because I wanted the focus of this layout to be about getting our dog, and then the kind of sparklers and 4th of July photos are actually kind of an afterthought of this layout, but I wanted to still include them without doing their own layout. And so that's why I used the Pocket Plus, and I love the Pocket Plus pages for that purpose. You can add more photos, and you can make them so that they're kind of like the, not the star of the show, but you're still adding them to your layout without creating a whole new layout. So now I'm doing the second page, and I'm holding it right up against that first page to make sure that I line everything up just right. And I'll do the same thing over here with making the paper stretch further. And I wanted to point out, you saw me kind of shifting my photos around on that page. I like to use 2x3 photos. I collage my photos in a on my phone using a 4x6 photo and putting two photos on there, and then I print them either professionally or on my selfie printer. These were done on my selfie printer, and so then I can print 2 photos per 4x6 print. But some of the photos, like that one at the top left of my son, you know, it's a gray background, so I didn't want it on the gray paper because it just kind of blended in, so I had to move that around. And then some of the photos have grass in the background, and some of the photos, like the one with my husband barbecuing, is more kind of blue-grayish. So I shuffled the photos around so that there was balance within the colors on the photos themselves. So all the grass photos are spread out. You can see there's 2 on the bottom outsides and then 1 in the top middle. And then the ones that are more grayish, bluish backgrounds are also spread out. So I wanted to point out how I paid attention to the colors in the photos to help balance the overall color in the entire layout. So just another little trick for color balance. And then the photos on the left also, I chose the my favorite photo of my daughter and husband in her Trolls helmet. It cracks me up. Had a lot of pink in it, and so I put that over to the side, and it helped balance out the pink in the layout because there's some pink over on the right side, and then up on the left also. So just a little tidbit on balancing the color across your layout. Now I'm adding the journaling about Zeta coming to live with us here. Right now I cut them into little strips. That's kind of my thing right now. I'm really liking adding journaling strips and using that new photo trimmer from Close to My Heart. It's a Fiskars photo trimmer, but it's got a little guillotine handle and it's self-sharpening, and it cuts off even the tiniest little bits. So I really am finding that useful for so many things, including cutting photos, but also those little strips are easy to do. So now I'm adding some embellishments to what came in the kit. So the kit came with some embellishments. There were hearts and heart stickers and heart die cuts. And then I pulled out these, I think it's Little Dreamer compliments that are retired, but it's all perfect colors to go with this layout. So all I added to the kit is the white base pages and then some the white cardstock for the journaling, and then some of the little compliments, which I'm sure you have got lots of stuff in your stash that you can add to your layouts. So if you wanted to make your Memories in the Making kit stretch further, this is a great way to do that and stretch it into a 2-page layout, or you can use it as intended. It is a gorgeous layout as it was designed, and you can do it that way. But I just wanted to show you an alternate way. So I'm just adding all of the embellishments here, and oh, and then here's another cool tip. So I thought, well, it needs a little bit of something in the corners, and so I used my blush, or not blush, the what color is this? It's the last year's color of the year, the pink shimmer brush, to add some shimmer splatters in all of the corners. So there's the finished 2-page layout, and now I'm going to get into adding the Pocket Plus pages. So like I was explaining, I really like the Pocket Plus pages to be able to add some extra photos and make them sort of, actually, I wouldn't say necessarily an afterthought like I said before, but they're not the star of the layout. It's sort of like pocket scrapbooking, and I really like pocket scrapbooking in addition to traditional scrapbooking. And I still pay attention to the color balance in the way that it's laid out. So these photos are all just kind of like general photos of my kids and our friends who were over from the 4th of July little barbecue we had at our house. And they're not about the dog. And while these photos, especially that one of my son up at the top corner, I just think that is the greatest photo. And, you know, that could be a whole layout in its own. But it wasn't the purpose of this layout, which was about getting our dog. But I still was able to add these cute photos to the layout. And I kept going back and forth on if I want to do a whole layout with these other photos, and I just decided not to. So I am pulling in some, this is a retired paper, although I think it might still be available on my website right now, the Central Park paper, and it has these cut apart pages that you can use. And so I thought some of them worked really well with this layout. The colors work perfectly with the paper. So this is in addition to all of the contents that came in the kit. Now I'm not using any of the contents from the Memories in the Making kit. These are all extra supplies that I had in my stash. So that Fun in the Sun, and I decided to change where the photo was because I thought that the pocket page with the white background looked better on the outside with the balance of the whole layout. And then that other blue one on the bottom, that was a 4x6 pocket page, and I cut it in half to fit in the 2x3 slot. And I'm just gonna I had to futz with the sizing to fit it in there because I didn't cut it exactly the right size. Same with this one. I can't tell you how much I love that Fiskars photo trimmer. Seriously, you need to buy one of those, and I will link that here below. It is, I've mentioned this in my videos before, it is seriously my favorite tool right now. I just can't get enough of it. Whenever I have any scraps or photos or anything that I need to cut that will fit in that thing, I use it because it's far better than my traditional 12-inch paper trimmer. I want one of those in a 12-inch size. So I am using those Little Dreamer embellishments again on this to add a little bit of embellishment to these Pocket Plus pages. And I like to add my embellishments on the outside of these little pages. I just like the look of it better. I don't like stuffing dimensional things in those little pockets because it makes it kind of bulge. And using the glue dots is a good way to adhere them down because they're really strong. So you just have to be a little bit more careful when you're flipping through them in your album. But the smaller size of these pages too, since they're not 12 by 12, I feel like they don't get kind of like jostled as much when you're looking through them in your scrapbook also. So anyways, here's the finished product. It was pretty quick and easy. If you have any questions at all about the products or the process, then feel free to leave a comment and I will get back to you. All the products are linked below. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.